Good morning everyone, and welcome back to the Vauxhall Vivaro van build part 10. Last week was a bit of a washout. So during the course of the 2 days last weekend, I managed to get the solar panel on the roof and wired in. I managed to get the solar charger in, and I also managed to get some of the units, kitchen units in as well. All during the course of the wet weather, which took some doing, I can tell you. Today, in this video, we're going to be talking about the Sequoia table legs, which I'm going to put on the tabletop today and screw into the floor. It comes in three parts. You have the top part, which connects to the table, and then you also have a base part which comes with a cover, and the table will actually fit in like so and then twist. Once it's twisted in, you then lock it in tight with the screwing mechanism. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do the Sequoia legs, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm also going to finish off the secret cupboard, not so secret anymore, in between the kitchen unit and the bench, and I'll be doing that today. And then hopefully, if I've got enough time, I'll finish off putting the drawer system into the kitchen unit. Let's get on with it. I'm at this stage now where I've put the Sequoia plate that you attach to the base, or if you like the floor of your van. They don't supply you with screws, and the reason for that is I should imagine would be that if they supplied you with screws which were too long and you end up actually using these screws and damaging your van, then they would be liable. I don't know, something like that, but they don't supply the screws. So you need to go and get some good hefty screws. I've actually used a 30mm long screw and 5mm head. I've also got a 40 in there as well, which is actually just on here and over on the far side. And you know, here, this is where I have a batten which runs right the way through the floor. So I knew it was there, and hence why I've put the 40 length screw through there. What you do, just pop the top off. They give you a nice plastic cover. As you can see, it's not actually that raised off the floor. It's not too bad at all. I don't know the actual precise measurements for it, but that's what it's like with the cap off. What I'm going to now do is put the leg on, just to show you the leg. So the leg, let me show you the bottom of the leg actually, it'd be easier. You can see that it's got a triangle shape claw foot, and that fits into the bottom here. A bit difficult to do when you're doing it one-handed. So what you do, you spin it clockwise, there you go, until it clicks. You can hear that click. Then what you do is that you screw down the foot and you make it really nice and tight. There you go. So that's the one leg, and then I've got the other leg, like I said, on the far side there. Now you also get a cup which actually fits on here, but it's actually attached to your table. So what I will now do is that I will put the other leg on, and then I will put the table on for you to have a look at. Here you have the table deployed. So that's the two of the Sequoia legs and the tabletop. Now the tabletop's looking a little bit dull, and the reason for that is that I've actually made this table from another table, cut it down, shaped it around the corners, and cut it down smaller. What I need to do is obviously wait for that to dry out properly, and then I will give it a really good varnish. I reckon at least 2 good coats of varnish, but it may just need another coat of stain, which I'll go over it, but it will need a little bit of a rub down. So it's a bit rough at the moment, and a little bit wet still, but I wanted to show you the table deployed. And that's that. So let me show you how the bed is now deployed. And here you have now the bed deployed. So the table legs come off. You just popper it off at the top, unscrew the bottom, so do the reverse of what you did before by doing the column and then turning it around, and it just pops out, and then the table then is deployed into a bed. So it's a good width bed. The actual length of the bed is 5'4", so from the head to your feet, so you'll lie whichever way you want to lie, but generally with your head this side, your feet this side, or your head this side and your feet this side, and that's 5'4". Now I'm 5'9", 5'8", and I just curl my legs up a little bit, and it works really well, and it works really well for two people. So that is the bed deployed for the Vauxhall Vivaro conversion. And as you can see, you've got a little nice side table over there, which is the secret cupboard. And as you can see, we've got the kitchen units going in, and I've also put the cutlery shelf in as well. You'll notice I've put a 50cm unit, and then I've cut the back out of two 30 units, which is screwed together, and the backs have been cut out of them. And then what I've done is that I've rejigged them to give that more step look to the actual units itself. What you will notice, yes, it is MDF, and people talk about MDF and say, well, you shouldn't really put it in your van because if it gets wet and holds moisture. That's absolutely a fair comment. Let me just take that plastic off. What I've actually done, you'll notice here, this is where the fridge is going, the CRX fridge, and I've actually put some door hinges on the front at the moment. They will come off because the door front will actually be fixed. But I've left the plastic on, the protective plastic on the front of the door, because I'm going to be cutting this door for the opening for the CRX fridge. But just getting back to here, as you can see, I've actually cut two big holes and put two big vents in. Obviously, having a CRX fridge, or any fridge for that matter, you want ventilation into the unit. Now, what I haven't done at the moment is actually filled all these individual holes with silicone. But what I'm going to do is primer them first and then put silicone on them. Also silicone the bottom part as well. But I've not done the back yet. And the reason I've not done the back is because I need to get access to the wiring. Once I've done the wiring for the fridge, then I'll seal all that up as well with proper bathroom silicone, which is where I've done the cuts for the vents. I've actually primed them as well, and I've sealed them as well, so that no moisture is going to get into the MDF from that side of things. I know MDF is a little bit heavier, but what I will also be doing is cutting the bodyworks out of the inside of them as well at a later stage, once I get the sink and the hob, but I'll do that at a later stage. Also at the top here, you can see I've primed. So that's what I've done. That's where I am at the moment, as you can see. Let me take the plastic off, it would be actually easier for you to see. Just a bit of electrician's tape. So there you go. So that unit will actually be, and you can see I've screwed it into the floor. I've also screwed it into the back as well, to the back of the wall as well, where I ran a batten behind the back of the wall. And this will be where I have the water tanks, which I will put here, which you can take out, which is nice and simple like I had in the other van. And then again here, same again, I will build a gas box. I will drill down through the floor to the drop out vent, and that will be for that. Over on the far side here, you've got the solar controller. The controller which I'm going to be using is the Wanderer controller from Renology. It's really good. It's designed for sealed, gelled or flooded batteries, or even lithium batteries. You have to make sure that you press the button and reset it, but it explains everything in the handbook. What you need to remember is do not connect the solar panel cables to your controller first. especially if you've got it plugged in up on the roof. And the reason you don't do that is because you'll actually harm the controller. So you need to do, first of all, is actually run your positive and negative cable to the controller first of all, and it's actually shows here battery and solar panel, plus and minus, nice and simple. So first of all, you need to do the cables for your battery and connect that. Actually on standby at the moment, in other words, it's fully charged. So I reckon if I hit this button now, it should say around about 13.7, 13.8. Let's have a look. There you go, 13.8. So fully charged on the actual battery itself. So that's why it's in standby mode, if you like. This will be a secret cupboard here. Keeps it nice and cool in there as well. I did it on the last van and it worked out really well. So I'm going to do that as well today. Let's get on with it. I've built the framework just as I built my benches. So just a typical framework, and then I've attached a couple of cross member bars or straight bars at the back here. So the idea is now is that a tabletop will fit on top of this, and at the front what I'm going to do is take one of these doors, I'm going to cut it down, and it's going to fit in this area here. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to stain the framework just on the top and down the sides. You don't have to do that, but I think it just finishes it off like it finished off the bench. Welcome back to the show. Right, so the panels are now in, as you can see, and the framework has been stained. Next part now is to put the work surface over the top here and stain it, get it scribed in at the back, as I said, and that should look all nice and tidy and finishes everything off. And this is now where I am. I've stained the top and I've cladded the front. Just needs a bit of a clean up, but I will do that shortly. This will need 2 coats of varnish over the top of it, just to finish it off and protect it. But I will do that at the same time as when I do the table and the worktop for the kitchen area. See you next week. Bye.